whole game plan was to come in heavier.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I reckon that worked good for him.
How?
If they're both coming in heavier, that's only going to play to Joyce's favour.
No, you don't.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think
Listen,
because Joe didn't
By
step.
Shilei Zhang, what do you make of Shilei Zhang?
You know this guy?
Yeah, Moses Itauama, the future of the heavyweight division.
What's going on?
I'm around, man.
Moses, your reaction to
Derek Chisora sends warning to Dubois about fighting Moses Itauama, and rightly so. Chisora sees what many already know. Moses is the future, a force Dubois isn't prepared for. Taking this fight risks more than defeat. It risks Dubois' reputation being shattered by a rising star.
One of the reasons he is taking it is that Moses is WBO #1 at the moment, so that there's some kind of...
And to understand why, just look at the raw power Moses brings into the ring. Moses Itauma's raw strength is frightening for a man so young. When a heavyweight combines natural power with composure, it's a nightmare for anyone across the ring. Dubois has been hurt before. Against someone this strong, his vulnerabilities could be brutally exposed.
You do have some good records. What are your PBs for squat, bench and deadlift?
The thing is though, yeah, if I say this, people ain't gonna believe me. I've got good technique as well. Squat 211, deadlift I done 270, I done a trap bar 300 when I was 16, bench I done 175. I tried to get 180 before this camp. My coach was like, I reckon you got 180 in you today. It went halfway and it went back down, but if I hadn't have done that 175, we definitely would have got the 180.
That is...
And Chisora doubled down, insisting Dubois simply isn't ready for Moses right now. Chisora's warning couldn't be clearer. Dubois still needs years of refining before stepping in with Moses. At elite level, timing matters, and Moses is surging while Dubois is still rebuilding. Facing him now would be reckless, and Chisora knows it.
Yes, he looked good on the scales. He lost weight, yeah, but the boxing style was not there. Yeah. If I was him, you know, I'd have done to my team. I say, you know what? Give me a southpaw, I can box, in a real fight. Then I'll jump on Moses afterwards. Because when the last time he boxed a southpaw?
That's true.
Even Moses himself admitted he hardly gets rounds in. His opponents can't last that long. Moses is frustrated that his fights end too quickly. That tells you everything. He's levels above his opposition, dismantling them inside a round or two. Dubois, who has been stopped before, should see this as a red flag. If others can't survive a few minutes, how will he?
Yeah, I thought I'd got a couple more rounds. I was hoping to get a couple of rounds because listen, my fights have only been 1 or 2 rounds. So, you know, I'm not going to complain with a 2.
Meanwhile, Dubois tried to sound confident, announcing his return and confirming he's ready for Moses. Dubois sounds eager, but eagerness isn't enough at this level. He's calling it a big fight, but for Moses, it's business as usual. Another scalp on the rise to the top. Dubois talks readiness, yet questions about his chin and mental toughness remain unanswered. Against Moses, that's dangerous.
So, Daniel, you're in the office for a meeting. Is there some fight news coming soon?
Yeah, big news announcing soon, so, you know, I'll let these guys talk about it, but I'm going to be well up for it and we're coming back.
Frank and Sam, we're excited for Daniel's return.
I'm more excited by his t-shirt.
Yeah.
Big news. It's going to be a tough fight, a good fight, quality fight. Everybody's going to love it when they hear it. It's a big fight.
Yeah.
Daniel, you're excited?
No, I'm 100% ready to go.
And Moses himself gave insight into what sparring with Dubois was really like. Moses speaks with maturity, giving Dubois credit for being tricky in sparring, but sparring isn't the bright lights of fight night. Under real pressure, Moses thrives, while Dubois has folded before. Styles do make fights, and Moses' style is built to break opponents down.
Daniel Dubois? How are you getting on with Daniel, by the way? Do you even speak much? Like, how does it go?
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually surprised. He's completely different to what he portrays, like what people think he actually is. Like, no, I was surprised, but yeah, no, training with Dubois it's been good. Obviously in that high altitude in Spain as well. Yeah, I can't really ask for a better prep camp.
I think it was in that George Groves podcast, you talked about maybe your most difficult spot has been Daniel Dubois, because he's not like a plodder, he moves.
Yeah, no, it's literally styles makes fights, doesn't it? Yeah. And I think Dubois, his style is one of my trickiest. So yeah, it gels well.
And analysts like Adam Smith are already saying Moses could beat most heavyweights right now. Adam Smith recognizes the danger. At just 19, Moses could already handle most heavyweights. To even mention him alongside Usyk and Dubois shows how highly he's rated. And let's be real, Dubois is listed as an exception, but history shows he breaks under pressure. Moses won't.
When is he ready? I think he could beat most heavyweights in the world, with the exception possibly of Usyk and maybe Dubois, possibly AJ. The top 3 or 4, he's not ready for them yet.
Mackenzie highlights what makes this fight special. It's bigger than just 2 men in the ring. From kids in the gym to older fans, everyone is buzzing to see if Moses can take the torch. Dubois might play spoiler, but Moses is the name pulling generations together.
However, the intrigue that surrounds this fight, I've got young kids in my gym that are going to be tuning into this
3
fight.
generations are going to watch it, aren't they? That's what's great.
To me, they're so excited about it.
Eddie Hearn's hesitation says it all. Testing Moses at just 20 years old against someone like Dubois is a gamble. Yet Frank Warren clearly believes in him. Why? Because Moses isn't just any prospect, he's a generational talent. Eddie might be cautious, but the fact this matchup is even being discussed shows Moses is already on another level. Dubois, by comparison, is supposed to be established, yet his name is spoken in the same breath as a teenager. That reflects badly on him. Moses is climbing, Dubois is scrambling, and promoters know where the real momentum lies.
Or he might knock him out, I don't know, but personally, at 20, you know, you got to get it right. And Frank, like I said, Frank knows what he's doing. And I think I'd be very surprised if they took that kind of test. Yeah.
Tony Bellew also stepped in, comparing Moses' potential to the very best. Bellew nailed it. Size is the only question mark, but even that's fading in modern heavyweight boxing. Usyk proved dimensions mean nothing when skill, timing, and movement dominate. Moses, while not as polished yet, carries freakish natural talent and confidence far beyond his years. Bellew labeling him the future of the heavyweight division isn't casual talk, it's recognition from a former world champion who's seen greatness up close. Dubois, meanwhile, is built like a tank, but that hasn't saved him from folding under pressure. Moses' belief and adaptability outweigh Dubois' physicality, making him the more dangerous fighter long-term.
He's unbelievable. The only thing that I worry about with Moses is the size. But ultimately, as we've seen now, size becomes irrelevant because look what Alexander Usyk's done. This guy's gone out and beaten everyone, including me. He's exceptional. So I don't think Moses is going to be as technically as good as Alexander Usyk, but he's the next in line. I think he's the future of the heavyweight division. I think he's an outstanding talent.
Carl Frampton also chimed in, praising Dubois' improvements but making his stance clear on Moses. Frampton tries to give Dubois credit, acknowledging his growth and danger, but the real headline is his closing words. The guy's a genius. He's not taught about Dubois, he's talking about Moses Itoma. Even while admitting Dubois has improved, Frampton can't ignore the sheer brilliance Moses has displayed. For a young heavyweight to be described in such glowing terms by a respected world champion shows how extraordinary he really is. Dubois may have a chance, but Frampton, like many others, clearly leans towards Moses' rise being inevitable. Talent like this doesn't come around often.
Dubois is certainly a much more dangerous fighter than he was, so he does have a chance to win the fight, but in saying that, I've backed against Usyk a couple of times, and specifically the Fury fights.
When Roy Jones Jr. says you remind him of a young Mike Tyson, that's no small compliment. It's about the ferocity, the speed, and the ability to end fights the moment an opening appears. Moses Itoma has that aura already, bulldozing opponents in Tyson-like fashion. Roy highlights the excitement factor. Fans tune in because they sense something special. Dubois, despite his size and experience, doesn't inspire that same buzz. Tyson comparisons aren't handed out lightly, and Roy's words reinforce what's becoming obvious. Moses isn't just hype, he's a phenomenon in the making. The pressure may be huge, but so is the potential.
I like Moses a lot. Moses reminds me of a young Mike Tyson. And what I say that is in the fact that, or in the state that, if you put a guy in front of him that he can hit, he gonna get him out of there. And Dylan White was a guy that he could hit, he got him out of there. So that's the same thing Mike did on his way up. I like that coming from Moses because it gets us excited because we might have another guy that can be almost what Mike Tyson was. That's a beautiful thought right there. He may get better, he may not get there, we don't know. But the fact that we see the potential
Nelson hits a nerve here. Dubois' biggest weakness may not be his chin, but his environment. At the elite level, fighters need independence, clarity, and mental strength outside the ring as much as inside it. Nelson doubts Daniel has the backbone to break away from the very structure that keeps holding him back, suggesting deep cracks in his development. That lack of authority translates under the lights, where we've seen him freeze or fold before. Compare that with Moses Itoma, who already carries himself like a self-assured champion, backed by a team that understands how to build him properly. Moses is young, but his mentality screams maturity. Dubois, despite all his experience, still feels like a fighter in search of his identity, and when pressure mounts, that difference could prove fatal.
And it'll get you so far, but when you get to elite level, you can't get away with it. I don't think Daniel has the capability, strength in regards to talking to his dad or standing up to his dad or standing up to that setup. I don't think he has the strength to do that, and which is why it will always hold him back. You got to look. This is personal business, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. Caroline, she, as far as I know, she doesn't work with her dad. There must be a reason for that.
This whole buildup has been fueled by one clear headline. Derek Chisora sends warning to Dubois about fighting Moses Itama. And the warning feels justified. Dubois may talk about being ready, but history shows the cracks, mental lapses, questions of heart, and a reliance on power without adaptability. Moses Itama, by contrast, is the storm coming through the heavyweight scene, young, fearless, and already showing the kind of destructive aura that reminds fans of Tyson in his rise. If Moses wins, he doesn't just beat Dubois, he announces himself as the future of heavyweight boxing, the new name every contender must avoid. If Dubois somehow pulls it off, he rescues his reputation and proves he's more than a nearly man. But does anyone truly believe he can survive Moses's power, speed, and composure? This isn't just a fight, it's a clash of trajectories. Dubois clinging to relevance versus Moses surging towards greatness. The question is, who do you back? Are you riding with the new force in Moses Itama, or do you believe Daniel Dubois can silence the doubters and shock the boxing world? Drop your thoughts below, the debate starts here.